No, and not in this life.
KRA has never, if they say this year, when they read the budget and the minister at that time or the cabinet secretary during this time says that the Kenya Revenue Authority will collect, we expect 2.8 trillion, whatever the case may be, KRA has never collected that amount of money.
No, it does. It's depending on the budget that you make.
No, that's what I'm saying. In the budgets that have been made, the amount of money that KRA is mandated to collect in a fiscal year, have they ever collected that total amount of money?
Yes, they have.
They have.
But you need also to have a budget that mirrors that. That was during Moi Kibaki's time. You know, the budget would mirror what it is they try to do. There is no way you'd have a budget of 4.9 trillion. And data shows that the last correction was about 2.5 trillion.
Oh, I get it. So we're doing things in the reverse. So
Yes.
you should make your budget according to what KRA can collect.
Of course.
But this way, it's being done the opposite. That you make a budget and then you go and tell KRA to go and collect.
And get this money.
Right. Now, because the National Treasury and the folks who do all of this policy around how the economy will grow, they're focused on the growth of the economy, yes? But if you focus on the growth of the economy, and one of the factors that you use to peg on that is collections from a tax authority, then it seems as though we've got the wrong direction. Because, like we said, you cannot develop on tax collection. Tax collection keeps the water running and the lights on. But if you want to build a balcony, for example, in this house, it is not from the taxes that you're going to do that. That has to come from the proceeds of things like manufacturing. Now, shouldn't that be the focus? And that would then give rise to the argument that has been floated by quite a number of people that you actually don't need a finance bill every year. You shouldn't have to continue looking for ways in which to keep the lights on. You should be looking for ways in which to build the balcony.
I'm a proponent of, and I think I've said here many times, that it is not a must that you have an annual finance bill. And that is what, if I looked at the memoranda from KEPSA, and they were saying, where the problem with us is that our country, our taxation regime is not predictable. You know, if you're an investor and you want to invest in the country, and you are doing your projection in terms of profitability and all that, you cannot put a finger what you pay tomorrow.
And you should be able to.
Now, last 3 years, let me put three things that went to the profitability of institutions. One, housing levy. Okay? Where you pay and your employer pay the same. Go to NHIF, go to NSSF. Those three statutory deduction had a knock to a lot of profitability, you know. Then, if you are an investor and you want to invest in East Africa and you are doing your due diligence, and one of them is profitability in terms of tax prediction, would you think the person who is doing your due diligence will give Kenya a A1?
Prof, are you saying that Kenya, as a result of its tax regime, has lost investors?
A lot of them. And also other related costs. Why is now manufacturing going to Egypt, for instance? For example, just go to a recent review of within the energy sector. Diesel went up, cost of production went up, even power, because we have a lot of thermal energy producers who are using diesel, goes up. So there's a lot of adjustment in terms of then the knock effect in the next 1 year. You'll see a lot of manufacturing and other related reporting quite a bit of loss in terms of profitability. If you put now maybe someone who was assembling electric bicycles and bikes in Kenya, solar and all that, and there is this proposal which was not there last year when they were doing their budgeting and projection for the next 10 years. You can see the reports back to the headquarters, wherever they come from, that we may propose to relocate to this other country, whereby now we just sell. The Kenya becomes, and we become a supermarket for many products. Now let's be selling just that product because there's no value. There's no competitiveness of producing in the country. So I think those are the issues that come with the and being unpredictable in terms of taxation regime, that it keeps changing. Rather than when we have 5 years, we know when you come to Kenya or any other country, for the next 5 years, these are going to be like this.
We've seen the movement as well when it comes to mobile phone and purchasing of the same, as well as taxation that seemingly is to be added on internet and bundles. And one would look at the gig economy or the content creators that we have in the country today, and it is an industry that is seemingly doing very well. It's employing a lot of young people. But we see that at the point where you go to purchase a mobile phone, there is an additional 25% excess duty that you will have to pay upon that time when you're activating that phone. That is transferred to the buyer, right? We also see internet as well will be expensive for many. How does that affect a sector that, according to the demography of the country, are the majority who are unemployed, but that which then gives them employment has become very expensive because the digital economy runs on internet?
You know, a phone is no longer for hello, how are you doing? It's an office.
It is.
So now, when there is a 25% excess duty on both accessories, and it is not affordable. And the government is high on the talent and digital economy.
Yeah.
What was also shooting itself on the foot is that it promised to lay about 100,000 fiber. So it's going to tax itself, becomes expensive to even lay the infrastructure, meaning then that demographic section of the community, it is almost excluded. Remember also, not only that the 25% excise duty on the phone, there is also a proposal to put VAT on digital payment platforms.
Yes.
So when you are paying on your M-Pesa, when you go and pay through your debit card, when the interbank charges, when you pay using your equity and you're using Standard Chartered, then you get to be, there is a levy VAT, meaning now the transaction becomes expensive, meaning the financial deepening, inclusivity that everyone is coming on board now becomes expensive to pay on phone. So you'd rather keep your money. So all that combined, then it hits both the content creator, the talent and all that, and also consumption becomes less weak because it becomes punitive to pay. And also the convenience and also the innovation. People within the space who would want to innovate more within the payment platform becomes expensive for them. So I think that hits directly to Mwananchi, because now, even to set something home now, you need to be looking at your M-Pesa balance to know how much more do you have. So I think all those combined, those are pressure points for Mwananchi, or what we call Wajiko, that the finance bill is being pushed like we are not adding extra taxes. I think that is what the CS Treasury is talking to.
But you are.
However, it's a lie. You know why? And I said here again, Finance Act are in perpetuity. So Finance Act 2025 is in force.
Yes, it doesn't stop because a new year has come about.
Finance Bill 2023 is in force. Normally, if you look at this Finance Bill 2026, the language, it seeks to amend. So it's amending what is already existing.
Yeah.
So all those kobo of taxes that Kenyans have been paying, they are still in force. And when the minister says that there is no extra taxes, the government, through no extra taxes, seeks to correct about 120 billion. From where?
If they're not extra taxes, then what are they?
Exactly.
Okay. So what has come from a lot